Hello everybody. Today I want to show you guys how to make a boss that is spawnable via item that is also a one-time use. You can also do this with mobs of any sort. I'm going to use it for a boss just for a special occasion. Now, if you don't know this uses a scoreboard command. If you don't know how to use scoreboards, which as you can see is pulled up right there, I recommend looking up some tutorials in the Mythic Mobs support section, showcases, or anything like that, because there are a bunch of creators within the community that have plenty of tutorials on how to use scoreboards. Now then, let's go and get started. The first thing you're going to want to do is pick out your item. I decided to use a bone, so 352, 1. There we go. There's the bone. So you're going to want to make 3 new files. Test mobs, test items, test skills. You don't have to, but I'm running my server privately for now, just for development's sake, and it's nice to have easy access to all 3 at once, rather than using multi-craft and having to go back and forth. So first off, you're going to start off with your item, like I said. Mine, I'm going to call Bone of Life. ID 352. Display. Bone of skills. There we go. Now, what you're going to want to use for your item, you're going to want to make it use a signal skill. So, signal S equals good boy. That's what we're going to call our boss, because it's going to be a wolf. Give the dog a bone. Ha ha ha. You're going to want to do the mobs in radius targeter. I prefer having my radius set to 5 for boss sakes, because you don't want players to just be able to use it anywhere. Assuming it's a boss, you can scrap this part entirely if you just want to make it spawn like a companion or something. So anyway, mobs in radius 5, type equals good boy spawner. Now the reason you put this is because this is what's going to spawn in your boss, so that way your boss isn't already somewhere in the world. This is helpful if you want to do like a per player level check or anything of that sort. Oops, I forgot to put the equal sign there. Make sure you put every syntax. This is my 4th attempt at a tutorial because I keep forgetting the syntaxes of some things and I can't figure it out for the life of me. So after you have that MIR, you're going to put on use. That will cover it for the item. The item is now done. So now you're going to make your mobs. The first one, you're going to want to make your spawner, good boy spawner, type armor stand. The reason you want this to be an armor stand is so that way you can make it invisible if you have it in like a boss room or just some kind of room of any sort designated to the mob. It helps tremendously, and it will also avoid players interacting with the armor stand. So with that being said, I'm going to set mine to marker true. This is another option whenever you get there, invisible equals true. I'm going to set it to false for now, so that way you can see that it is in fact there. I'm going to add the skills. Now what you're going to want to do, you're going to want to make a overall skill. Yes, an overall skill. So skill S equals spawn good boy at self, and you're going to want to use on signal trigger. Signal equals, what did we say our signal was? Okay, so signal equals good boy. Now you can have your actual mob itself that spawns in from it. Good boy. Type wolf. Display goodest boy. Anything else from there is entirely up to you. This is your mob now at this point, so you can put whatever skill you want. Doesn't matter. All that does matter is you have this skill spawn good boy at self on signal using the signal used from over here, which is right there. So that covers that with your mobs. Now the skills part is the part where it gets kind of bumpy, so to speak. So you're going to start off with your first skill, spawn good boy. Cooldown 0. This is where you're going to want to add the conditions if you want to make it like a one-time thing. So you're going to want to put global score objective equals good boy and value equals 0. Make sure you add your dash in the front. I forgot to do that. Whoops. Again, big issue that it causes if you forget. And now set this to true. That means this skill can only be fired if this scoreboard objective has a value of 0. Which reminds me, we need to go back to our test mobs. One skill you're going to want to add in the mob itself is modify global score objective equals good boy, action equals set, and value equals 1. You want to make sure that it does this on spawn. Actually, no, you don't even have to worry about this part. My bad. Well, not entirely. We're going to switch this to on death, and you're going to make the value equal 0, because I just remembered part of the skill is actually modifying the global score. So modify global score objective equals good boy, action equals set, value equals 0 on death. So when it dies, it can be respawned using, in my sake, the bone of life. Now you're going to go over your test skills again. Skills. I like to get this out of the way right away. Modify global score objective equals good boy, action equals set, and value equals 1. This will prevent it from being fired twice because the value has to equal 0 in order for it to be fired. So once you have that part down, you're going to use the summon skill or mechanic. Summon type equals good boy at self. You don't have to worry about any triggers right now because this is all within the same skill. This is the really bumpy one. You're going to want to make sure you spell it out correctly and with the right caps in order for it to work. Pseudo skill equals use. We're going to use use because it's very generic and it only has to happen, or you can make it be used with any item, any boss, as long as this skill is used, whatever item you're holding will be, well, used. So, oh, and one thing, add cat equals true. What cat stands for is caster. I like to think of it as caster as target. That's probably what it means. Maybe it's not. I know it's weird because you, out of habit, you'd want to put cast. No, caster at target or as target. After that, you're going to do at trigger. What this does is, since you're the one that uses the skill, the at trigger is going to cause it to target you because you are the triggerer of the skill. So now that you got that part out of the way, you can make the other part. Use. Cool down. Make it 0 so that way you don't accidentally waste anything. You don't need any conditions. And now skills. Consume held item. There we go. So once you've got everything down, everything should work properly. So let's go ahead and reload this. You're going to go ahead and get your item. I get bone of life. There it is. As right now, I'm right clicking and nothing's happening. That's because there is no spawner nearby. So if you spawn in the spawner, spawn good boy spawner. Oops, I must have forgot to switch something. So now we're going to spawn in the spawner. Good boy spawner. Okay, there it is. You're going to get your item. Bone of life. And as soon as you use it, Boom, your bone is gone, the boss is there, the score is up. If you get another one of those items, as you'll be able to see, boom, it's not firing because the score over here is set to 1, and the spawner only takes your item if the score is set to 0. And once you kill the boss, score resets to 0, can set it back up and use your other item. I hope this tutorial has helped some of you guys. This is a really big step for me when it comes to actually making bosses. So if this helped you, please give me a like and make sure to watch out for other creations I will be sharing with the community. Thank you.